What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RaceDudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Let's go to Saratoga for the Belmont, but not the Belmont race itself. Saratoga, Friday, June 7th, race 12 on the card. This might be the best race. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of really good races. This is one of the better ones, though. The Acorn Stakes, a grade 1 event going a mile and an eighth here at Saratoga. Field of 9 for this one, and boy, this is everything you would want in a race here for the 3-year-old fillies. This should be a ton of fun. Let's go through them 1 through 9, then I'll give you the top pick. I'm going to number 1, or I will start off with the number 1, Becky's Joker. What a weird spot to enter this horse in, a tough spot for sure. Becky's Joker, if you remember, broke the maiden in the Schuylerville right here at Saratoga on July 13th of last year. That was her first ever start, so she entered this grade 3 event unraced and won by 3 1/4. Came back next in the Adirondack and just kind of a non-effort. Just didn't break all that well. Got farther behind than she wanted, and just did nothing and got beat by 15 lengths or so. So, it's a 2-year-old. It's early that you could make a pass for that. But the problem is we haven't seen her since. So she will enter off of, let me get this right, 306-day layoff by the time Friday rolls around to run in this one. So that's going to be quite the long shot. We'll see what happens for this horse. Seems like a big-time outsider in this. This would be a huge upset if she gets a job done. Number 2 is Power Squeeze. This is a horse that I think a lot of people really were liking going into the Kentucky Oaks, and she just didn't do much running at all. Got way behind and just couldn't make up any ground. Before that, though, she had been good. She had won 4 straight races, including the Gulfstream Park Oaks, and she won that Gulfstream Park Oaks pretty impressively that day. So, look, I think you're hoping she bounces back. I think you're thinking, if you're going to support her here, I think the distance is going to help her. Maybe she just didn't like the sloppy track. Let's not forget those races at Churchill Downs. A lot of slop horses, or a lot of horses just didn't like the slop that day on Friday and really on Saturday a little bit as well. So now the bad news is if that was the problem, there is rain in the forecast. Much like Louisville, Saratoga is a really tough place to kind of predict the rain. So it's hard to kind of make pre-plans until you really see the track. But anyway, I think she will bounce back and run better. She's much better than what she showed last time out. The number 3 is Leslie's Rose. Speaking of just not showing up, this horse did not show up at all. Power Squeeze was 6th. Leslie's Rose was 13th, beaten 44.5. She quit basically in the Kentucky Oaks. I mean, can she bounce back? Yeah, I mean, she has bounced back off of kind of dull efforts before and done pretty well. The race 2 back in the Ashland, she was coming off kind of a dull effort in the Devona Dale, went to the Ashland, won by 3 lengths, earned a big speed figure. She's kind of the female version of Fierceness in some ways. I don't think her top-end talent is really matching Fierceness, but she's kind of a one race is good, one race is bad type of horse. I think she'll bounce back and be okay here, but I don't really still have a gauge on just how good this horse is. So it's really hard for me to kind of get a gauge on this horse. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with her. I'm not going to put her on top, but maybe I could play her in some multis, maybe just kind of leave her off. I'm really on the fence what to do with Leslie's Rose. Very inconsistent horse. One horse that's very consistent is the number 4, Just FYI. Of course, the horse was the 2-year-old champion filly after going 3 for 3, winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Came back off of a long layoff, ran in the Ashland. I thought ran okay, got second, beaten 3 lengths. Kentucky Oaks, I thought this horse ran her race. I thought she was very good, but she just was no match for Thorpedo Anna, who just smoked her that day. I do think now 3rd race off the layoff, that is just fine for Just FYI. I think we're going to see an improved effort here. I think she could get the trip. Maybe if the track's fast, maybe she can kind of turn the tables. But Thorpedo Anna just kind of left her in the dust, and that's kind of the scary part. I picked Just FYI to win the Kentucky Oaks. A lot of times, when I pick a horse to win a big race and they run okay, like Just FYI did, I'm apt to try him again. But Thorpedo Anna really kind of left her standing. So I don't know if she'll be able to turn the tables here. I think it's I think just what FY is a really good horse, but I don't know that her best matches Thorpedo Anna. The number 5 is My Main Squeeze. This horse won the 8 bells and did it pretty impressively for Mike Maker, won by 2 lengths. And look, I think now we got to stretch out to a mile and 1/8. That's the big question mark. We saw this horse go a mile and 16th and not do much at Oaklawn Park in the fantasy, but some of our other races at a mile and 6.5 furlongs, they were pretty darn good. Now we're stretching back out. I don't really blame them for trying it. I'm just skeptical that we're going to see her absolute best at this mile and 1/8 distance. So, but look, I thought the 8 bells was really good. I think it was a pretty good effort. Maybe the sloppy track kind of helped her out a little bit as well. She seemed to like it. So, if it's sloppy again, maybe that moves her up a bit, but I'm just, the distance is a little bit concerning for me. Number 6 is Where's My Ring? This horse was 10th in the Kentucky Oaks after winning the Gazelle impressively. Look, I think with Where's My Ring, and we can also lump her in with the number 7 Regulatory Risk, 2 horses that are coming off of the same 2 races back to back, being the Gazelle and the Kentucky Oaks. Where's My Ring will probably bounce back and run a little bit better. I mean, the Gazelle was obviously a much better race than her Kentucky Oaks effort. She was just kind of off slow, didn't get anything going. So I think she'll run better. I think she's a long shot that makes sense. Regulatory Risk, I mean, she was a well-beaten 3rd, but she kind of has shown to be a fairly consistent horse right now. You look at what she did in the Gazelle, well beaten, but hit the board. Like I say, Kentucky Oaks, well beaten, but hit the board. Maybe she's that type of horse. And at 12-1, you could probably find worse horses to back. So the number 7 Regulatory Risk, if you're looking for a longer shot, makes a little bit of sense. The number 8 is Gunsong, and I was all over Gunsong in the Black Eyed Susan, and that worked out pretty well. Hard for me to back her here. I thought the Black Eyed Susan was just a really poor race, honestly. Not so much what Gunsong did in the race, but just overall, it just wasn't a very strong race. You look at the Gulfstream Park Oaks, she didn't do much running in there. She's kind of hit and miss at times. She ran close to Leslie's Rose 4 races back. So again, I think if you're looking on that 12-1 range, it's not the worst horse you could back, but for me, I just think she took advantage of a Black-Eyed Susan field that just wasn't very good. And I think you're kind of going up against the heavy hitters now, right? I mean, I don't hate her, but I couldn't get there on top. But the price is there, so if you want to give her a shot, you could do it. And then finally, the number 9 Thorpedo Anna, 4 for 5 now in her career. Only lost, she just didn't run all that well. 2 straight victories to kick off her 3-year-old season. And look, the Kentucky Oaks was about as impressive as you could get. She just dominated that group, absolutely ran away from them. And really, like I said, I thought Just FYI ran well that day, and she just could not even get close to Thorpedo Anna. So now you look here and it's like, okay, well, it's a lot of the same horses she's already dusted. So that shouldn't be much of a problem. Leslie's Rose, Just FYI, horses like that, you think, well, maybe they can turn the corner or turn the tables, I should say. I think the only way that they can, well, there's 2 ways. Obviously, the first way is Thorpedo Anna maybe just kind of bounces or something like that. I don't expect that. But, maybe some other horses really try to go a little bit faster with her early. But look, I think if that's the case, you look back to the fantasy that she won, and she wasn't on the lead for all of that race. So I really think she can sit if another horse really tries to get crazy. So that's the other thing. She seems to have kind of a tactical advantage in all of her races as well, because she can go to the front and she can sit if she needs to. So yeah, I'll just spoil it right now. I'm going to go number 9, Thorpedo Anna on top. I really just debated with myself for a while back and forth. Just like, yeah, maybe stick with Just FYI one more time. But I'm going to use Just FYI. I'll probably just go 4-9 in this race. But I just think, look, it's a lot to kind of turn the tables on Thorpedo Anna if you're Just FYI. I think making up 4 3/4 lengths, it's going to be tough. And I just think now they're both 3rd off the layoff, so they both might even improve off that Kentucky Oaks. I expect Just FYI to run huge, but at the end of the day, I just think Thorpedo Anna, Just FYI really didn't have much of an excuse last time, and couldn't get to her. So I think if she shows up and run that kind of race again, it's going to be tough. And the other thing is, finally, if it does rain again and again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's going to rain. I don't know how much it's going to rain. If it does, I don't know if it'll affect things. I don't know how the track will be, and I won't know until they run the race. So that's just one of those things, right? But if it does rain again, we saw that she looked really, really good in the slop. So I don't think a wet track is really going to hurt this horse at all. And the good news is a lot of these horses that are running on Belmont Day, whether it be Friday or Saturday, Acorn Day or Belmont Day, they've got slop form because a lot of them were at Churchill when it was raining. So anyway, I'm going to go number 9, Thorpedo Anna on top here in this one. We'll see if she can make it 3 in a row. And, if she wins this race, probably going to win, or be in the driver's seat at least for sure for that 3-year-old filly of the year. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Acorn Stakes. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting on the Acorn Friday at Saratoga.